Hi, my name's Candace. I'm going to be doing the new moon in Scorpio video for you guys, or reading for you guys. And how I decided to do it is I'm going to split it up by signs. I was thinking I was going to do the water signs first, just because, it is kind of Scorpio season. So, I decided to do a poll on it, and water signs still came out first. So the water signs will be first, air will be second, fire signs will be third, and earth signs will be last. However, I don't know how much it's going to matter because they may all be posted at the same time. I'm not sure. But if they're not, that's how it's going to go. I'm just going to look off a list just to get some things out of the way before I start the reading. I hope everybody is enjoying November. The full moon just passed, which is in Taurus. I very much enjoyed that full moon because I am a Taurus sun, Gemini moon, and I have Leo rising, and my Venus is in Pisces. So it was very like home to me. It was weird because I actually had like a revelation because I've been going through a lot myself. I'm in the middle of going through a spiritual awakening, so I've been feeling all these other energies, all these changes, not really like myself in a long time. And I was just commenting how kind of at peace and how calmed I was, and it was like for the first time I had felt like myself in a long time again. And it was nice to feel because, it's one of those times, it's kind of like an aha moment, but you think it's kind of like what I call like a duh thing. Like you should be like, it's to take it for granted. You should know that. But sometimes you forget the most simple things in life. And I realized with it how long it had been since I felt my own energy, just because of how much I've been going through and how many changes and evolving and challenges and all the other energies from the other moons. How much I really love my own energy, and how much I took it for granted for years, and always looked outside of myself to feel at home and complete. And it was kind of that moment where I realized like it was in me all along. So although I do appreciate the other moons and the other energies that really help me, they're helping me evolve and change and kind of not be so stagnant and so just focused in a not good way. But at the same time, bringing it back around really has just kind of reconfirmed to me how much going within kind of brings you everything that people are looking for anyways, or the things people are looking for. It's within yourself. It's actually your own energy. It's just people take it for granted. And I don't know, I just wanted to say that. So keep in mind the energies that come around, because it was something I really didn't think of until I was actually enjoying my own energy. I didn't realize how much I didn't feel like myself for a while until it came back around, and I'm like, oh, this is familiar. This is nice. So I just wanted to say that. So the full moon was in Taurus, which is about releasing. So it makes room for energies in your life also, so that energies can come in with the new moon for planting seeds and manifestations and just where your energy is going to go, because it's all about a journey. It's all about what you're going to do, what you're going to do next, and the moons help you with that. And it's hard sometimes to manifest or bring new things in when you have a bunch of things that you need to let go of and they're really not working for you. So I'm not really going to get too much into the Taurus full moon, but I know for me at least, it really, I think, helped ground me for what's possibly gonna come for the Scorpio new moon. They're both intense signs. They are opposite signs. So they have a lot of likes, but they have a lot of differences that can balance each other, especially if the signs are involved. So people might have gone through where they've released things, maybe even jobs, possessions, things the Taurus are about, mostly that groundedness, maybe even stubbornness. But for me personally, it worked out to where I think it kindly gave me like a groundedness and a balance and a peace, and an intense one I haven't felt in a long time, and was much needed. I'm not sure if it's like the calm before the storm. We'll see. But for me, I think that's the way it was. It was a nice, calming, grounding energy. And I have a feeling that it's much needed for the Scorpio new moon that's coming. So let's talk about Scorpio and what they represent. There's a lot to it, but we'll cover a lot of your more general things. Scorpios are very mysterious. They're all about death and rebirth, release, regeneration, the phoenix rising from the ashes. They're all about truth, not only finding the truth, but telling the truth, sort of, because they're also very mysterious and secretive at the same time. So, especially the unevolved Scorpios, they'll hold even more truth back, but they're all very truthful in some way. They will tell some truth. They almost always will tell a truth that is, in others or in the world around them. And I'll kind of get more on that, especially with how they mirror and reflect. There's just no way you're not going to find some truth being around a Scorpio. But they usually always pretty much uphold their truths as well, at least to what they know their truths are at the time. They're pretty good about looking within, so they usually know themselves pretty well. They're very patient in the sense that they observe and plan. They're not always patient in like getting what they want, and that might be an unevolved trait, but they are very patient in observing and planning their moves and just watching. They're very observant. They're very much about the higher consciousness, spiritual awareness, especially the evolved Scorpios. They a lot of times have increased intuitive abilities and psychic abilities, especially intuitive abilities. They're very good about listening to themselves and going within, and obviously that ranges, and it all depends on the scale of how evolved they are. They're the ones who have the most, I don't even know the right way to put it, but the most animals. Like Taurus is a bull, Cancer's a crab, Pisces is a fish. Scorpio has, like, depending on which one you look at, like between like 4 to 7, because they're so in depth and so complex that their evolution has multiple animals. Okay. With, I think some people say the eagle is the last one, but I've seen others where the phoenix is the final one. Regardless, though, they're very much about intensity. And I think that's why it was really nice to have the intense side of the Taurus and the grounding, because, everything in the zodiac sign is about balance. So if we're having some intense energies coming our way on the Scorpio side, it's kind of nice to have had that balanced Taurus grounding side, because they're both about intensity. So you're gonna, whatever's come is probably gonna be, or comes is gonna be intense. It's gonna be probably emotions, usually deep emotions. Scorpio is, all the water signs are emotional, but most of the other two like Cancer and Cancer and Pisces, I find are a little bit more like fluid. It's almost like a stepping. I think Pisces is the most fluid, Cancer is the middle, and Scorpio is the least. Theirs is almost like that still waters run deep, that murky water, that unknown below all that water. that dark murkiness that most people are scared of. Most people are scared to look at. Scorpios aren't. That's for the most part what they live in, is that darkness, the mystery, and they love it. And I think it's almost the opposite of a lot of other signs in that way, that the evolved Scorpios, that's one of their things, is to still love their darkness and love that dark water, but to also rise to the light and use the light, and learn how to balance that. Where a lot of signs, and I'm not saying they're dark, but a lot of signs are about embracing their dark side, and combining them. I think Scorpio, most of them, at least the more unevolved ones, are the ones still evolving. I mean, we're all always evolving, but the ones who haven't blended the light and the dark already, theirs is kind of opposite, in the sense of theirs is actually to rise and embrace the light. I know a lot of Scorpios that they kind of really have that thing. Like, they love that mischievous kind of dark thing, and almost like they don't feel like themselves, that they're dealing with the light or something with the light. Not that they're not good people, but just to use their regenerative and healing properties in better ways, especially if they are on a lower scale, because then they can tend to use it for not so great. I mean, still good, because I've had things done to me that, you know, back when, before my awakening, I mean, tore me apart. And now I look back on it and I realize how much of a great thing it was. So although that's great, and it's a great almost sacrifice in a way, to be the one to almost bring people through the dark so they can find the light again in a new perspective. Eventually their thing, Scorpios also, is they have to rise out of the darkness as well. But usually they do kind of help others intentionally or unintentionally through the dark before, you know, they rise to the light too. And I'm fully grateful for that. They will, there's no way you can't know who you are, your triggers, or they mirror you so much. So I'll get into that. But your sexuality may be increased, the intensity of that. It might be something you embrace. It might be something that you have almost an addiction with, or a problem with, or maybe you have old subconscious thoughts that you need to address with that. But either way, that intensity that comes in that creation, that fire. I mean, even though they are a water sign, Scorpios very much represent and embellish that fire-esque as well. Money might be also something that's in with this. Normally Scorpios are about kind of other, I don't know the right way to say this, but other people's money, outside money. Taurus is usually about their own and manifesting it themselves. Scorpio can obviously do that. We can pull off each other's traits. And they usually do end up, especially as they evolve, because usually when you evolve, you kind of balance with your opposite sign, so they naturally would start to manifest. But they would be like bonuses, inheritances, sharing money, loaning money, collaborations with business and money. But I think a lot of manifesting as well. They're gonna pull off that Taurus energy. It just kind of depends on what's going on in their life and what stage they're at in their evolution or evolving spirituality. So what you'll probably see is a lot of death, in a sense of removing of things that no longer work, but also rebirth. And that can be your health, looking into yourself about what needs to be looked at, what needs to be worked on, where can something be made better, what can I kind of rejuvenate again, maybe health practices, working out, eating better, meditation, really anything with your health can either come to light and be transformed, or work on transforming again. Material things, material possessions, it doesn't even matter what is. I mean, you can like fix up things in your house, change your house around, change your room around, really anything. Your clothes, your wardrobe, you know, your shoes, whatever your thing is. Creative projects, maybe there was something you started on that you stopped or got sidetracked from, and you're like, oh yeah, why did I stop that? Let me start that again. That'll be good for me. Or something that you're doing and you're like, you know what, this really isn't going the way I thought. Let me stop it. I'm going to start something else. There's going to be truths revealed, whether it's from, you know, things that you're revealing or things that you're hearing with others. Truth within yourself through self-reflection. I mean, I think that's the biggest part of this that's going to happen is self-reflection, because Scorpios are very big on self-reflection. Maybe even truths, you know, in the environment and social media and politics and all that I'm not even going to get into, not in this video anyways. But looking inside yourself, embracing your shadow side, understanding yourself, and not being scared of that, not being scared of the darkness, the things that are scary, that, you know, just seeing them and acknowledging them and loving them, you know, and, you know, utilizing some as strengths, and then releasing others that don't work for you, and seeing old patterns. What areas of you need healing, whether it's emotional, physical. Look at the relationships, not only within yourself, but around you. Because everything in our environment mirrors things that are going on within us. So you can't really have always that victim mentality of, you know, oh, so-and-so is doing this, oh, so-and-so is this, or, oh, they're ignoring me, or they're not nice to me. Well, how are you ignoring yourself? How are you not being nice, or, you know, nice to yourself? If they're not listening to you, are you not listening to yourself? It always mirrors that within you. And just because of the way Scorpios are, to me, from what I've found, they are one of the best mirrors. And for somebody who's not ready to do reflection and look within and kind of take the responsibility of it, they are going to offend you. You are going to misunderstand them a lot of times. But you have to look deeper than that, not only within them, which is sometimes hard to do, but within yourself. Hey, stop. And sometimes too, I mean, I don't know if a lot of Scorpios will like that, because a lot of them like to be like mysterious. Although they want to be understood, they don't want to be understood, because they like kind of being mysterious. But a lot of times, whether it's Scorpios or anybody, the best way to understand somebody else, honestly, from what I found, is to understand yourself. Like, if you understand yourself, somehow you understand so many things around you. You understand so many people around you. It's just weird how that happens. Like, the more you let go of control, the more control you have. The more you trust yourself, the more you trust other people. It's just one of those things that happens and is ironic with the universe. But look at how you react to things. What are your roles in relationships? What triggers you? Why does it trigger you? Why is that person triggering you? Because only you can give something significance. Like, if somebody told me I was a bad cook, I'm not going to care, because I know I'm a good cook, so you're not going to faze me. But they might say something else to me that would really bother me. In the past, I mean, I used to be a very reactive person. And I lose control that way. And I realized, because it was things of my insecurity, and I'm like, oh, look at them, look at what they're doing. Oh, so-and-so did this to me and they were a horrible person. Yeah, but I was there and I participated, and I clearly got something from it because I stayed there. So it's all about looking within yourself, seeing what your role is in things. Where can things be healed? Where can things be let go? Where can things be revived? What can be made better? You know, what are those dark sides in you? Because through a lot of my shadow work that I've done, it's just brought so many amazing things. I wish I had done it a lot sooner. I mean, in a way, I'm glad I didn't, because now I'm able to be here with the stuff I know now. but at the same time, I mean, it's such a blessing, and it's intense, but it's a great energy. All right. Okay. Now we're going to get started doing the Scorpio new moon 2017 for the air signs. So that would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm going to start off by pulling 2 cards from, what is it called? The Animal Spirit, the Wild Unknown. Just to kind of see what guidance is there from kind of animal spirit, guidance, messages, just kind of what to look out for, what we're embracing, what might be crossing us, or what energy to take on. We'll just get started with it and see how it unravels. These cards, I'm just going to do 2 of for all of the air signs, just to embody as one and not each specific one. Okay, so let's start out. I need 2 cards. Scorpio new moon 2017 for air signs. That's funny. Okay. So you have the rabbit. And you have the eagle. The water signs also got the eagle as to the energy to embrace or what to transform into. So that's kind of cool because depending on which one ever you look at, because you know Scorpios, if you look them up, they are the only horoscope sign of the zodiac that actually has more than one sign, symbol, animal that represents them. Like Taurus would be the bull, Gemini is the twins, Aquarius is the water bearer. You get what I'm saying. So Scorpio has like, I don't know, I've looked at different ones, anywhere from like 4 to 7 signs, and depending on whichever one you look at, some would say the eagle is the highest and some say the phoenix is the highest, but it's kind of regardless either way. This is the highly evolved. This is what, with the Scorpio new moon energy coming in, they're wanting you to evolve and spiritually ascend. So I'm going to read these, and then if I pull anything else off intuitively, I'll say that as well. I just like the meanings in the books, or in the book. So we're going to do that first. All right. So rabbit is afraid of everything, overwhelmed, frozen. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it, so loudly in fact that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words. Oh, rabbit, they shape your destiny. When in balance, the rabbit energy is sensitive, a problem solver, and a good listener. When out of balance, rabbit energy, they over-explain things and they talk fast. To bring into balance, you could use a day of silence. And that's interesting that the other card is the one that they're scared is going to eat them, or like be their demise, which is really interesting to the whole I don't know, being scared of like your own other part, or of evolving, like scared of evolving, or scared that the unknown or your shadow side I don't know, will really not be good for you. Let's read Eagle real quick and we'll kind of delve into that in a minute. But that's interesting. Okay. All-pervading power, truth seeker, transformed karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, eagle energy is bright, radiant, and, enjoys or likes challenges. When out of balance, eagle energy is controlling. To bring eagle energy into balance, it's really beneficial to step into the unknown, because into the challenge of the unknown and the darkness a lot of times is really what transforms us, and kind of helps us evolve into a better person. When I look at the rabbit energy card, they are kind of frozen in fear. They're very fearful. They're very alert, almost paranoid even. My cat is driving me crazy. Hey, stop. So there's almost like a lot of fear, a lot of darkness. There is passion. There's very little purple in there, which would be kind of like your crown chakra, connecting with spirit, connecting with your spiritual self. And his ears are up too, almost like antennas. So I don't know if it's like they're praying for their life, like they're only talking, when you're at a lower energy like this, like the only communicating you really do, to the higher realms is really when it's like really needed and you're in those really fearful states and, you're praying for your life or you're praying for things to go better or, and it's not that those times aren't good to pray, because it's always good to ask for assistance like that and guidance, but it's especially hard and trying in those times. I mean, really, it would be a lot more beneficial to really look within and try to connect to the higher realms, spirituality, angels, source, the universe, whatever your religion or spirituality or beliefs is, it would always be good to connect to that. I mean, if you look at the colors in this, there's way more red than there is purple at the top. And the chakras start anyways from red to purple. So, stop. So not only, and you're missing a lot of colors too. So it's like you're almost constantly in a fear-based mode, and only when it's really needed and you're really in this almost like paranoid, fearful stance and you're just like frozen with fear, then you reach to the higher realms and try to look above. And that's not very good. It's mostly red with such little purple. Which means it's just never really, and you're missing all the chakras in between too. So it's like, are you balanced with creativity and sexuality? Are you balanced with your will and your drive and your determination? Are you balanced with your emotions and your heart, forgiveness and compassion? Are you speaking your truth? Are you allowing others to speak their truth? Or are you just so fixed in this state of fear? Hopefully you're not. If so, I hope you're breaking out of this, because it's not a great stance to be in. Whereas to the eagle, I mean, they're just spreading their wings, they're transforming, they have the orange, a little bit of red too, but the orange of like creativity and sexuality, the yellow of confidence and self-esteem and will and drive and determination. This eagle is looking down on prey, probably the rabbit, but they're patient about it, just like the Scorpio energy. They're very patient in their planning and laying their seeds and for their prey or their goals or what they want to come to them. Really the only time I've ever really seen a Scorpio really rush to something, even though they are an intense sign, and not really be patient about it, is if they're not sure if they'll get it, if they're not sure of its ways or they're not completely confident about it, then they will kind of take themselves out of their balance and they'll kind of go after it more. But if they do know what it's all about, like say it's a person and they've got your number, they know what you're all about, or they know how to obtain something that's a goal of theirs, they will do as much work is as needed that they know, and the rest of it, they have this great ability of patience to just sit back and know that it's coming, like to know what to do and what not to do and not to overwork themselves. And don't get me wrong, they're very hardworking. It's a very hardworking sign. They are one of the most loyal and dependable signs, especially about if you set them to a task or there's an obstacle or something like that. I mean, they're the opposite sign of Taurus, and Taurus is very, they're focused when they're working on something and have either a challenge or something they're working for. And that's exactly what this energy represents. I do think sometimes, though, also when Scorpios can become in almost a uncomfortable or fearful state, they do almost tend to freeze up as well, too, especially your more unevolved Scorpios. So they kind of almost shut down. And in a way, it's bad because they miss a lot of growing signs around them, and something that could be made better sometimes isn't, because they shut down almost to like self-preservation mode. So it's good for them in a way because, sometimes they really need it to recharge. I mean, they come across sometimes as a very strong sign, even if they're on a lower scale, but they are a water sign at the end of the day, and they are very sensitive and emotional. So if they're just really overwhelmed with fear or even emotion, they will sometimes just shut down and kind of go in like a hermit mode or not speak very much. They'll just speak, what needs to be said, and they'll leave alone what doesn't. Until they kind of rebalance themselves. They really need alone time sometimes, and that's to kind of recharge and balance themselves. The downside to that sometimes is that the situations or people around them, sometimes either if they don't understand them, the Scorpios, they'll misread what's going on and not know. They'll just take it as though oh, they're not interested, or they're not nice, or they're hurting me, and sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not. They just literally need their own time, and because they are a mysterious sign and they are a little secretive, and especially if they're on the lower scale, they don't always communicate things, and sometimes they don't anyways. So they kind of have their moments, they communicate and open up when they want to, and then sometimes they don't. So that's kind of the upside for them and for other people, in a way that it really mirrors things to people. You're definitely going to learn about yourself and any of your shortcomings by being around a Scorpio, because they're going to mirror it. They're going to they're going to show you not only by their own actions, but by being able to see into people, because they usually are so grounded within themselves and seeing so deep that, you know, they know the depths that a lot of people are uncomfortable going to. So because they know that, they can see things in a lot of other people that other people can't see. And a lot of times those people themselves can't even see about themselves. But they won't know what the Scorpio is doing a lot of times unless they really know them or understand, or know themselves well enough to know that they can understand other people. Because when you understand yourself better, you tend to understand the people and situations around you better. But it's unfortunate sometimes when they do that, because it sometimes makes it impossible or take longer or kind of the harder way around in order for situations to revolve. But I can't really say whether that's a good or bad thing, because there's kind of a plus side to both of it. But either way, you can see where this is kind of the fearful state, or you could even say sometimes even the lower scale of a Scorpio energy, or just anybody's energy. I mean, so many signs do this. And this is what we're wanting to kind of hope to embrace or incorporate, this type of energy, at least during this Scorpio new moon season, preferably forever, if not all of it, a portion of it. All right, so we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna start with Gemini. So we're gonna Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. None of these kind of came out the way I wanted them to. Some are close, but Gemini really was like just had so much to say. Surprise, surprise. I understand completely though, because I'm a Taurus sun, Gemini moon, and Leo rising. And I have, my Venus is in Pisces, and my Jupiter is in Scorpio. So, your card that's kind of representing everything, I'm gonna have to figure this out the best, because your guys' cards just kind of, I don't want to say exploded, but it just was like, heck, all over the place. So, I was only really asking for one card, but I got two for you as to what kind of is going on with you or representing you right now. And you have the sacral chakra. Is it chakra or chakra? I think it's chakra. I hear it both. I'm going to go with chakra. So sacral chakra. And you also have the suffering and silence, which is the 9 of Swords. And you also have orange in this card as well. So I'm not sure whether the girl is looking at the sun coming up or the moon. I think it's the sun coming up. But through what I'm getting, because to explain these cards, you have the King of Pentacles, which either could be you trying to rise to the top of your maybe being an entrepreneur or creative project, or your money situation, which makes sense. I mean, we just had the Taurus full moon and the Scorpio new moon, which is very much about finances. So you might be really focused on your finances, or there may be an earth sign or somebody who embraces those qualities of a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Because on one hand, let me just say this up front, I mostly see this as something creative. I see a lot of creative things and ventures coming out. It could also be love, or something that you love, or something didn't go right in your love life that pushed you to be like, I'm going to focus a little bit more on my finances, my money, on creative things, something that I love. Something that's going to feed me in a healthy way and bring me happiness and healing and good things, and that I can control, and kind of not focus on other things or lower or negative energies, and either let them go or just not focus on them right now. Maybe put them on hold, kind of have a little bit of, I don't know, faith or patience, like Scorpio patience, to just know that, kind of like how they sit back and they just know, you know, like, I know what's going to happen. I know it's going to come my way. I'll put in what work needs to be done, but I'm not going to overstress myself about it. I'm just going to sit back and chill a little bit and do something else that either entertains me, that I like, that, you know, it's purposeful. So this is either, I think, a money venture, creative venture, or this could be somebody who's stressing you out. Or you could also be really trying to ground yourself. You have the Three of Wands. So it's something that, you know, you're really looking at and waiting on your ships to come in, or waiting for, you know, waiting for kind of tangible things or workable things to come your way from the things you've laid down in your passions that you've thought about and created, and, you know, you've kind of done the work and you're waiting on them to work. So this could be exactly what I just said. Like, okay, I've done all the work I can. I've done everything I can. I'll nurture the situation. I'll still put love into it. I'll hold space for it. But I'm going to go do something else that takes my mind off stressing about it, so it makes the patience of waiting a little bit easier, and do either some type of, like, focus on my money, creative stuff, anything I love, whatever it may be. This is you waiting on that to come, because, like, he's done everything he can do. Something's coming from his umbilical cord, so he's still nurturing the situation. And he's waiting from the energies above, you know, source, the universe, whatever, to kind of shed that energy and that manifestation power. I mean, I know that's the full moon, but, you know, that energy to just, what is it that you wanted? I'm working on it. The next card next to it is, or the card next to it, is the Eight of Swords. And, you know, again, the full moon is kind of, you know, blowing on her head, or, you know, manipulating it to where she's, like, so worried about it that she's going to fall out of this onto these swords, and just, it's not going to be good for her. So it's either, like, something that you've been waiting on and nurturing that you let go of, or need to let go of. Or you've realized that you've done everything you can, and you're kind of just putting it on hold, and if it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. You're not really going to hold on to any expectations of it. You're going to work on the things you can control and the things that you really enjoy. But you are for sure going to let go of this. You're going to let go of being in your head about it, and you're just kind of going to have faith, or just, like, let go of expectations. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, you're not going to mess around with that, because you're over it. You have the Eight of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords, and you have the Ten of Swords. You're just done being in your mind about it, and you're letting whatever happens. And you're just sitting back and having patience and not worrying about it. I mean, honestly, it's like, I'm going to go do what I'm going to do and what's serving me now. And if it comes, great. And I'll jump on it and, you know, focus on it and basically, I don't know the word to say, utilize it, or like an eagle. You know, they wait for that time to swoop in. They wait for when it comes. So they'll wait till it comes in their grasp to put their focus on it. Again, you're not going to waste the mental energy of it. It's a waste of energy. It really doesn't even manifest anything that great. So next to the sacral chakra card, you have the Page of Pentacles. So it could be the start of something new, like maybe the baby stages of something with the King of Pentacles. But I also really see it as, you know, like look at him. He's been building something. I don't know how great it was put together, because there's screws and bolts and everything all over the place. But regardless, I mean, maybe you're still really trying to... well, that actually makes sense, because this is like the lower stage of it. It's the start of something, the start of a new endeavor, apprenticeship, learning. So it makes sense that he wouldn't be perfect at doing it, and some mistakes would be done. But there is a mask he's wearing too, so it's kind of like putting on a brave face, like, yep, I know what I'm doing, but there's screws and bolts all over the place. That's okay. Sometimes it's okay to fake it till you make it. Sometimes it's not. I mean, you gotta pick and choose those, but for the most part, as long as you're going and you're not doing something like somebody's life is in danger or something. But either way, I really think you're starting like some new, some creative endeavor, some skills that you're learning, something you really like, whether it's for work, whether it's hobbies, enjoyment. I mean, the Scorpio process is all about death and rebirth too. So you might have literally just been like, I'm not happy with what I'm doing, or I need to start something, and you just stopped something else and started something else, or you picked up on something that you started before and stopped, and you're like, why did I stop that? And you started it again, reviving things, kind of like, this isn't working and it's done. So sometimes it can just be completely done, or sometimes there's a reviving of things too, and that could either be hobbies, jobs, maybe your health, things with your health, the way you look, relationships. I mean, you could see resurgence in relationships, any type of ship, you know, with a child, a family member, a friend, whatever. I mean, you'll just see, you could see a lot of reviving of relationships, and then you could just see some just go. And I will say this too, because I wanted to say in the water side video and I didn't. It may just be completely done if a relationship ends, but you know, sometimes things have to end and crash and burn in order to be built again from the ground up. So have faith if that happens. If it stays gone, it was supposed to stay gone. But there may be a chance that it was built on a faulty foundation, and it needs to have time and patience to kind of come around again. Stronger though. So, you know, just know that, and have faith and patience, and just don't have expectations. Just do you. Focus on you. Focus on what you could be, and the best you, and how you can evolve. And if that's supposed to be with you, that frequency will align with you again. And if it's not, it won't. But some other frequency that will be right along your alley will. I'm just saying. I had a lot of cards that popped out, so I'm just going through those. You have the Page of Cups twice. So it's really here. I mean, yes, it could be like... And you also have the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So maybe some of you Geminis are dealing with a lot of things with kids as well. Or maybe you've been wanting to have kids and you have the Wheel of Fortune after, so luck is turning in your favor, or there's divine timing at work. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of immature people, or had dealt with a lot of immature people, and maybe there was a lot of karma involved, and that's either done, or it's about time to wrap up and either move to the next level or just be removed. There's maybe also a lot of messages. I mean, what am I missing? Wands, Chalices, Pentacles, Page of Swords. I don't have the Page of Swords, but you have a lot of pages, so you could have a lot of messages coming in of passion, love, work, or passion and love that's grounded and maybe could be long lasting, but it's very much at its beginning stage. Could start out as friendship, maybe might turn into more. but don't have expectations of that. You just go with the flow and do you and let things unfold naturally. Don't try to control it. You know, with Scorpio, there is kind of that controlling nature and also those power struggles. So either A, don't be immature if there's all these pages all over the place, because I know Geminis are very childlike, almost in a Pisces-like way. But Pisces are more like dreamy, childlike, and so are Geminis, because they're very, very creative and so many thoughts. But you know, Geminis also have that that verbalization and that wit, and not that Pisces aren't witty, but that vocal side. So don't be doing anything petty. If you are, you might be dealing with a lot of petty stuff, and like I said, maybe karma or stuff like that, and that's about to change and either ascend to the next level or just be removed from your life. But I do also see it as a lot of creative, you know, the Page of Cups as creative things. Maybe you've been dealing with a lot of hard parts with your kids too, and you have either a lot of kids, or they're embracing a lot of energies, or you have a special type of child with certain very sensitive energies, and it's been hard on you. So hopefully maybe these energies are also helping them, or just you've been having a lot of trouble. Maybe you're a single mom, I don't know. But I just kind of really see it as a creative thing. I mean, you have two of the Page of Cups, and they both look very creative. However, this one is trying to entice another fish or something, either to talk to them, like a message, or love, or it's just an immature love. But you have the Page of Wands, and this guy looks like he just picked up, he's either trying to sneak around on stilts. So it might be sneaky and immature behavior either on you or someone else's behalf that you've been dealing with. Or this could be a skill that somebody picked up. They're like, look, I just learned how to use stilts. I think they're called stilts. And this is awesome. Look what I learned. And then you have the Page of Pentacles guy, who he obviously learned something new, and he's new at it because he missed some parts. But either way, I really think that there's a lot of divine timing in there. So there's a lot of fate, and there's maybe karma that was released, but things are really turning in your favor. I also see that whatever this creative venture is for those that are working on creative things, because that's what the sacral chakra is. It's and you might be feeling a lot of sexual energies this month too, whether just by yourself or due to the Scorpio energy, because they rule your sex organs, and there's intent and passion. So but it's those who are doing the creative venture, it's almost like you're being pulled to do this. It's fate. Maybe you're aligning with your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing. You also have the Judgment card in the Moon. So again, past a reunion that hopefully the karma's over and is ascending to a new level, or you're hearing the call of your purpose, and you are really just being see how the moon is kind of manipulating or having these people almost puppeteering. You're really feeling that pull, and almost you do obviously have a choice. I wouldn't recommend it. It sucks when you resist. Do not resist. Look up path of least resistance. But it's almost like you don't have a choice. That drive in you is so strong, and that creative side, almost creative, to where you're I don't know if I want to build something or if I want to go get it on, you know what I mean? So it's just so strong. You're I don't know. So it could be that as well. So it could be someone coming back from the past that maybe was this King of Pentacles energy, or any of these could be very immature, like any water sign energy that was immature, any air sign energy that was immature, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. You have the Pentacles twice, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But you're definitely having like some type of reunion. There may be a judgment coming. Maybe you have to make a judgment and you're finding out the truth on something. Things come to light. Maybe from something of this immaturity or something about your kids, something about a creative endeavor. Hearing the call. Your cards of advice are, you have the 10 of Cups and you have the Star card. So again, it could be a water sign or you could be dealing with an Aquarius, but I see it more as whatever this is, and I hope it's what you want. I hope if it's love, I hope it's love. I hope it's whatever brings you happiness, but I hope even if it is love, or if you're putting that on hold or whatever, you're still finding that creative side, because whether you have love in your life or not, you need other loves. You need other things that you're passionate about and drive your creativity. And so that no matter what, you always feel like this. And you always feel like this. You feel balanced. You feel so in yourself that she's naked and she doesn't even care. She's vulnerable. And she's like, yeah, this is me. This is what's up. She's not bashful about it. I also see this as healing. So if you've been through a hard time with this King of Pentacles or any of these immature energies, whatever you're doing, and I think it might be a creative venture, it's going to bring you emotional abundance and it's going to bring you healing. It might even bring you so balanced that whether it's through this person balancing themselves and coming back, or you aligned yourself with someone else who's balanced, and look, not only do you have your creative venture and your financial endeavor, but now you have the family you always wanted, whatever it may be. But keep your head up and keep doing what you're doing, because, or if you're not, do what I'm saying, or do this, or something of the sort, or apply this to however it relates to you and your situation. But just don't be all up in your head. I think whatever's going on and you see on the other side is going to be balancing and integrating your twins. So, let's pull a card real quick and we'll move on to the other ones. The other two signs are going to be so mad. But Gemini is just like on the thing. So I'm going to pull an oracle card. Show me an oracle card for Gemini for the Scorpio New Moon 2017. Gemini, Scorpio New Moon 2017. You have Aloha Healing. Amara the Menahoon? I don't know. But she's going to be going through some emotional healing. There's a rainbow in her background. She looks kind of sad, but her eyes are almost looking up, like that kid's like really? Okay, like something good is they're coming out of sadness into hope, that look like, really? Anyways, that's the way she looks. So you have hello healing. Healing. Sexual healing. Oh, I hear in that song. Sexual healing. You know what I'm talking about. I'm about to sing right now because I got to move on. But healing, creative healing, sexual healing, emotional healing, physical. Whatever. Apply it to what works for you. But I see things really looking up for you. I have a feeling you already feel it. So awesome. I'm happy for you. Okay, we're going to move on now to Libra. And for Libra, your card is you have the Wheel of Fortune as well. Things are really turning in your favor. And I have a feeling you might have went through some kind of energies of maybe self-love, speaking your truth. I know Libras, a lot of times there's so much about harmony and balance and not wanting to upset things that sometimes they can not speak their truth and they can hold back, but then can become kind of resentful and bitter and just hold it in and unbalanced because of that. They think, you know, things should be fair and they should be balanced, and you know, I'm good to you, be good to me. And maybe they suppressed a lot of that and stayed within themselves, just because, you know, I completely resonate with that, because that's a lot of how I am. Is sometimes you almost take the hit of things just to either be the bigger person, or there's with A, either be the bigger person, or it just make it easier and just let it go and brush it off. And some things you can, that's a great energy to have, but sometimes you can't do that. So I think what you have coming your way, or is either here now, is you know, you're really feeling on top of your game. You have the Six of Wands and you have the Ten of Cups. And, you know, he's kind of just feeling victorious and happy and is like, this is what I've wanted. I feel back in alignment. I feel back in power. I feel good again. And, you know, you have emotional fulfillment, whether it's with a family, a friendship, a creative venture, even whatever it is that you love. You're feeling on top of the world. You're feeling victorious. And I have a feeling what you're coming from to this is maybe just relationships with people that they were just very selfish. This is the Four of Pentacles. Very selfish, very greedy, very about themselves, all in a lack mentality, just not giving, just not good for you and not safe. Like manipulation, you know, lying, just not putting you in a good energy at all. And you have the Knight of Wands. So although this could be somebody who really takes action and knows what they want, this could be a very sexual energy too, and somebody who's in and out. They're not really there. They're not really consistent. Like they're really only thinking about one thing. Very selfish thoughts and very greedy thoughts. Wearing a mask, not being forthcoming. Maybe you let this go during the full moon. And you're just like, I can't anymore. I mean, this looks like a flea he's on. Like, was this person a parasite? I think you saw your worth. Either that or you're like, I absolutely cannot do this anymore. It's not even worth my time. Like, why am I doing this? I think you found who you were. And I think you found not only the truth of what was going on around you, but I think you found your own truth, or at least the beginning of it. So I think you're flying to new heights. You figured out who you were. This person was either released or you released them in order to transform them. But both this with the Four of Pentacles and this energy, like this is not a good energy. So I'm glad that you figured things out and that you came into this of feeling victorious and emotional happiness, whether it's on your own, maybe you found somebody else, but whether you found it on your own or doing that and speaking your truth really made somebody see your value. It could be the person coming back, but it could be also that you went through that, because I think it was like Libra season not long ago, so maybe you came into your power during that time. And this energy I was showing you, this is your card of advice, which I think you might have already done it, but it's, you know, triumph, you know, kind of like this, like success, Am I showing these right? But it's speak your truth, know who you are, wear that crown, wear it proudly, and know you are and know your value. But when I was like, what exactly is this? And the eight of cups popped out. So you walked away from something emotional, something that looked like a fun time, all the fireworks in the background of partying, but you're like, I want something more than this. I don't want just fun times anymore. I don't want just sex or meaningless things or something, coming in and out of my life, or someone that's greedy or is not going to give back. Yeah, sure, it looks like a fun time, but it gets old. And I want something more. And you walked and found something more, and you found it. And it might have actually been this person in the background. And that's why you say it could be the person coming back, and maybe they saw your value because you finally, was like, listen, I know I'm valuable. And they're like, oh crap, she realizes it. He realizes it. But it kind of looks like a different person. But you know their cards. So, I don't know if this looks like a mistletoe too. So, I think you might have found like love or something, and I don't know whether it was this person or not, but congratulations. Whether it's somebody new, whether it's the person and you snapped them into order, or reality, should I say, or whether it's just you embracing, your own love for yourself. So, yours is pretty straightforward. I think you really came into your power. Let's look at your oracle cards. Show me a card for Libra for the Scorpio new moon 2017. Oh, that's funny because you have like the same energy Pisces did and the water sign. So, the water sign video. So I don't know if you have Pisces in your chart somewhere. But if you do, you should go look at that video, because they very much came into their power. They were the other sign that I read on that I was like, you guys found your power. You guys are finding who you are. You guys are coming into it. And, it says Marie Masquerade. And it says glamour, intrigue, drama, and she's dressed up like she's going to a masquerade. She has a masquerade, mask, and she's taken it off. So it's like you guys are also taking off the mask. Not that you were wearing one faultily. Maybe some of you were. And if you were, you're like, well, I don't need to be like this anymore. So you're coming into your power. Or it could also be that one of, no, I'm fine. No, it's okay. No, yeah, I understand. Yeah. No, I don't understand. I don't understand how I do all this for you. I do understand that it was my fault for allowing this and that I'm worth more than this. And I'm going to go look inside and find out why exactly I kept this all around, because there must be reasons why. But you got to go in the meantime, because I don't have time for this. I don't have the energy for this. You're coming into your sass. And yeah, that's right. She's bringing drama, because sometimes you got to bring your drama, especially when you're the person who just becomes a doormat and a doormat and a doormat. And it's not just the other person's fault. It's your fault too for playing that role. But I have a feeling you figured that out. So bravo, props if you did, because this lady, she's in her power. Like, she's even like, she's dressing up, she's moving on. She's got a ship in her hair. Like, she's ready to set sail and move forward. Move forward. Like, she's done with all that other stuff, and she's dressing up whether there's a ball or not. Why? Because she likes it and it makes her feel good. Don't even care. It's like, this is me. This is what I'm doing, and I love it. And I'm amazing. And I know it. And so does this person who's being drawn to me. Or situation. However it applies to you. It could even be anything. It could be with kids, and this woman is finding her power. Maybe she forgot herself for a little while. She's ready though, and she's also dark. which means, you know, she's embracing that dark side, her shadow side, you know, the Scorpio energy, embracing the shadow side and not being scared of it, utilizing it, blending the light and the dark within you, using your shadow side as your strengths, and then recognizing the parts that need to be let go. Yeah, I think you're finally, like, you're using your communicative skills, and you're realizing that, you know what, I can still keep harmony, I can still keep balance, I can still keep everything good while still speaking my truth. And actually, I find that by being me and speaking my truth and letting others know exactly how I feel and not holding it back just to keep them happy and around, not only makes things actually go better, because that other person neither knows what you want now, and they know what they need to embrace to be in your life, or they fall away, and because you're emanating your truth and who you are, somebody who does align with that comes along. So, I'm not sure if you have a lot with Pisces, but I have a feeling that it does. So you might want to go look at the water sign, Scorpio new moon video, and look at the Pisces one, because, you know, they had a lot of the same energies that they were coming into. They pulled the same oracle card. And Pisces also has that problem too, where they're like, they're more emotional than they are, you know, air-based or intellectual-based, even though they're intellectual, but you're an air sign. But they have the same thing where they are just so gentle and so soft, and they a lot of times will act as like the cushion and absorb all the energies and absorb everything just to keep the peace, keep the harmony, and not want to hurt people's feelings. And they were misunderstood for a while, and I think a lot of them felt like doormats and people's punching body bags for a while. And they're really starting to come out of that and embrace their power and their truth. So you may want to go look at it. It's the same or very similar energy. So, okay, we're going to move on to Aquarius now. Oh, by the way, kind of late on it. Hopefully Geminis are still watching, but the Gemini, like, the decks kind of got separated with this instead of all them. And I feel like the Geminis, like, they have the 9 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, the 8 of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the 8 of Wands, no, the 7 of Wands, the Lovers, and the Sun, Strength, 6 of Cups, Knight of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. So I think a lot of them were really, like, just anxious in their head, as I was saying in their reading. They took a break, they backed off, they decided to heal, they cut down, removed, or stopped focusing on anything that wasn't working from them. They might have even gotten communication. They're like, nope, done for a little while. They're coming into their power and their creative power. They know what they want to do. They found their way out. They're done with toxic situations, and it's working very good for them. It's giving them strength. It could have even been something from their past, a past that was just kind of very, or they spoke to their past. They had they let a lot of their truths out about their past, or there was a lot of aggressive vocalization about it, and now they're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, seeing if it's alive. They laid the seeds to see if it either comes back or goes, and either way they're fine. And either way, here comes the 10 of Pentacles, abundance, whether it comes or not. Libra, I'm going to show you the bottom of your card before I move on to Aquarius. I don't know if I said Leo earlier. I'm sorry if I said Leo. I think I said Aquarius. But you're also, you know, you're like, nope, you took a time out. You went inside. You started to make good choices. You're like, I don't want to feel hurt anymore. You have the 3 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, Lover's card, the Emperor, the base chakra, the waiting game, 3 of Wands, Four of Wands. So, I mean, you really kind of took some time away. You're like, what do I really want? Everything I'm choosing now is hurting me. I need stability back in my life. I need to make a head over heart decision, gain control back in my life and get security. And, you know, you did that. You focused on yourself. You did some waiting. There kind of were things with some roots in your background. So it could have been something that was really far back or something really associated to your roots or an integral part of who you are. And you kind of just waited and focused on yourself and did everything you could do, backed off, focused, kind of like a similar Gemini energy. And, you know, you waited and there your ships came and here came your stability. So it's either through finding you, through finding a new person, through that person realizing what they did and coming back, or just you finding you. Either way, it's looking really good. Like everybody's finding healing and balance. All right, Aquarius. So your overall card to focus on is you have the solar plexus chakra, which is, you know, willpower, determination, confidence, self-esteem. It could maybe even be health problems within that, like your liver or your pancreas or anything that could be in the area of, you know, above your navel. If you do have some of those problems, you might want to look into healing or balancing your third chakra, diabetes, liver issues, your pancreas, you know, look it up. I'm lack of time right now. So I don't know if you're lacking confidence or if something that happened to you really was just driving down your confidence, or there's something that was really burdening you. You were just going really slow and carrying it for a while. Maybe you were the only one doing it and you let it go during the full moon. You let it go and now you're just it forced you into this kind of waiting position, and you're waiting on time to go by. You're waiting to see, and you're looking at things from a different perspective. And you're just deciding to kind of like, let me try something different and see if I could see things from a different perspective. And it not only is healing to you, but it brings you more into yourself and realizing things about yourself. I don't really think, I mean, normally in the star card, they're putting water on the emotions and the earth, kind of a balance. And yours is all in the water. So I think maybe you are like the only one really putting energy into something, putting passion into something or somebody. And it was a one-sided situation. And it was an emotional situation. So it was either something that you love or a person or a situation. But you were the only one doing it. It was really hard on you. I mean, look at him. He has like a hump back. He's slouched over. Like it's really taken a toll on him. Energetically, confidence-wise, you know, even determination, like you're not good enough. It's like, look at all this I'm doing and this person doesn't see it. It really takes a toll on your confidence, especially since you're, you know, an Aquarius. They could be really in their head. And not only that, but for an Aquarius to really put this much into emotion, like you must have really had it bad. So I'm sorry for that. But your lesson is, and that's good that you did try to take things from a different perspective. Unfortunately, I think what ended up happening from you trying to take a different perspective is that this person, I mean, you have the Knight of Pentacles. The upside to the Knight of Pentacles is they're the knight that usually ends up making it there and staying there, because they're so thought out and methodical, and they dot their I's and cross their T's. But look at him. He's so guarded in every way. He has armor over everything. He's not going anywhere. I mean, normally it's on a horse, but this guy is going even more nowhere than a horse. Like, you literally, like, stopped yourself, guarded yourself up. Like, it's not really good for you. And I feel like you're wanting to go, either you're wanting somebody and you're scared, you have low confidence, so you're scared to go after them or make yourself known to them or say your intentions to them. This is kind of an Aquarius thing too. I think sometimes they're like one of the harder signs to get as well. But your lesson in this is to not pull back your emotion. Like, I think you were putting too much emotion. Like, the problem with this is you were putting so much emotion in some situation or somebody and not also in yourself. The whole point of the Star card normally having the balance is that not only are they putting it into emotions, but they're also putting it into practical stuff or into their selves. You were putting this very much into something, I think, outside of you, and that's where it went wrong. So I think it's either, you know, a woman or a man that you're really focusing on and you have low confidence about it. But at the same time, it could be like, you know, the Queen of Cups, like, she's very focused. She's very nurturing. She's psychic. Aquariuses are very, you know, psychic and intuitive people. So, you know, she's really using her intuition and her nurturing side and loving. And I don't know if you could see it, but there's an owl back here. And I think owls really show the wiseness of the Aquarius. And, you know, he's like looking, you know, without her seeing at her. So there might be somebody that you're really interested in, or you need to embrace this energy and become more nurturing and go back inside yourself and use your instincts and your psychic abilities, whatever, you know, you have a little bit more. But I also see it as, if you look at the difference here, this is where you are now and how guarded you are and how slow you're going. But then you also have the Knight of Cups, who is faster than the Knight of Pentacles, and he's also way less guarded, and he's willing to still bring his emotions. He's not letting what happened to him or a situation in the past, you know, block him or stop him from a love in the future. So much so that he's coming to this person and saying, here's some love, and I'm so not afraid, because here's this guy who seems to be with her, but oh well. So, you know, don't do that. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to show the lack of fear in this situation, the lack of fear by showing up, and he's like, I don't care, I'm going to show you my love anyways, and you tell me what you think, but also by the less amount of armor that this Knight of Pentacles has. So it's kind of like, relax, take the armor off, use your intuition, love yourself, get balance within yourself again so that you can offer love and focus on love, and, you know, either go after the person you want to go after or embrace this loving, nurturing, focused self-love energy. And also, if you go too slow, this person may not even know who you are or that you're around, and they may be focusing on this other cup that's completely different than yours and what it's telling you to bring. I don't know, like that. But don't go so slow, because they may not even know you're there or around, because you're guarded and going so slow that they're like, here, let me go focus on this cup. You know, so kind of go back in yourself. Take your armor off. Do a little self-reflection. Work on your solar plexus chakra. You know, maybe YouTube that on some videos. There's some exercises. They're not really exercises. You can like sit and do them, like with the vibration of your voice. Or, you know, just twisting and turning, like very simple things you can do in a chair. Or even just listening to music, or there's chants you can listen to. Or just the intention, but maybe really work on that with your confidence and your determination. And I think somebody really did a number on you. And it wasn't just them. You know, you really need to really watch, you know, what you're really throwing yourself into. I think you really even took a chance by even going on a ledge by showing your emotions anyways, because unless you're like really, really involved in Aquarius, I mean, they usually don't show it that outwardly. Or maybe you thought you were. Maybe you think you are, and she doesn't even see it. So maybe you got to step up your game a little bit more and really bring your emotions a little bit more forward. Because the thing that a lot of people miss with Aquarius is, or a lot of the air signs, but especially Aquarius, they're the most distant out of any of the air signs, is they kind of take for granted sometimes they don't have feelings. Because they don't show them as much, or, you know, oh, they're not showing me, they don't love me, or sometimes Aquariuses get hurt more because it's like people feel like they don't have feelings because they don't show them. And it's like, no, they do. They just show them in different ways. It's not so much in their body. It's more, intellectualized in that conversation. I mean, they feel just as much. They just show it in different ways. And I think sometimes Aquariuses can kind of get the raw deal sometimes on that because of that, because it's very misunderstood by other signs or people who don't know that they're actually very emotional people and they're very loving people. They just are misunderstood in how they express and show their emotions. And just because they don't in the same ways doesn't mean they don't have it. So I'm sorry for that. And don't let that burn you out. Keep that faith, show yourself, speak your truth, step up, on showing your emotions. Maybe even tell that person or ask other people that you can, or somebody that's a guidance, and be like, what's a good way to do this to show? Go within yourself. But more than anything, before you do all the things I'm saying, show yourself that love, and make sure anytime you ever show anybody any love, that love is also being directed inwardly as well. Because whether you know how or not, if you're loving yourself, whether you're putting your heart on your sleeve or not, you will align with what you're supposed to. Let's pull you a card real quick before the camera runs out. Please show me a card for Aquarius, Scorpio, New Moon, 2017. Card for Aquarius, Scorpio, New Moon, 2017. You have from death comes rebirth. So I think you really got over a situation, and she's blue, Really speak your truth on things and be who you are. Keep being who you are. Love who you are. Take on this Scorpio energy of realizing what could be made better, what could be revived, what has to be let go. Work on things to improve your solar plexus chakra, your will, your determination, your self-esteem, and your confidence. And step back into your power. From death comes rebirth. In Aquarius, my husband's an Aquarius, and he's a powerful man as well, and he's very insightful and very strong, and he is my rock. So I know the power you guys have, and I know what can happen. I know what transformation can be done by you guys. So rock on. Good luck. I know you can do it. So if you need any other advice, please hit me up. I love you guys. You will be seeing more of me. I'll put my information on, my about page. If there's any private readings, any help that's needed, prices, any of that, it'll all be on there. I'll have a PayPal link in case somebody does want to do donations. I just really want to help people though. That's my main thing. And I hope this really helped you guys. Because that's my main purpose. It's really helped me, and I'm wanting to give back. And this is what I'm doing now for my job, because I feel it's my purpose and what's aligned with me, and it feels right. So I really hope I've helped. I hope I've channeled what I should to really reach who's supposed to get the message they're supposed to. It's a little bit faster of a reading. Normally I would do each sign separately. But with the new moon, I felt it would be easier just to piece them together and do the signs. So I don't know when this is going to cut off, but thank you very much. And I'll be seeing and talking with you guys again soon. And I'm excited about this venture. And I hope you're really enjoying your November with your full moon in Taurus and your new moon in Scorpio. I hope they really balance themselves out for you. One's very intensely relaxed and chill, and I don't know, one might be a little bit of an upheaval, a tower almost, if you will, but one that brings this. So don't forget your powers, don't forget your loves, and most of all, don't forget yourself. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye.